What's up everybody, this is Puff from thetechover.com. Today we're going to be taking a look at the iPad 2.5. Oh, I'm sorry. Not the iPad 2.5, it's the iPad. They actually didn't want to call it the iPad 3, I'm imagining, so they just went in reverse and called it the iPad. Because there's not that many new features here. If you spent $600 last year on the iPad 2 and you're desperate to spend another $600, what are you going to be getting? Well, you're going to be getting a higher resolution screen, a better camera, and no, you're not going to be getting much else other than that. Now it's time for my least favorite part of the video, the part where I talk about the things I did like about the iPad 3. And I am going to call it the iPad 3, by the way. The design is really nice, it's sleek, it's actually a hair thicker than the iPad 2, but really it looks exactly the same as the iPad 2. So from a design perspective, there's really no point in upgrading. The screen resolution is also really nice, it's pretty impressive. Apple is calling it the Retina display, which doesn't mean anything at all, but it just means that there's a high resolution. What that means in practice is that your text is going to be really crisp, the curves look really nice, and overall, visually, it's just really nice to look at. It's a useful device for bringing to the restroom if you have some business to conduct, or if you're just lounging around on the couch with friends, you want to show them some stuff on the internet. But that brings me to my main point. If you're going to spend $600 on a device just to use around the house, on the couch, why wouldn't you just get a computer? Unless you have way too much money, or if you pretty much live on your couch, it's just really not economically viable. Now it's time for my favorite part of the video, the part where I get to tell you everything that's wrong with the iPad 3. First of all, it doesn't support Flash, which is surprising for a device that's supposed to be centered around watching videos on the couch when you won't be able to access half the videos on the internet. Second of all, you're going to be stuck using the worst online service in the world, iTunes. So you spend all this money getting all these great songs and movies, and you bring your iPad over to your friend's house, well, let's just plug it into their computer and use it. Oh, no, you can't. You have to be using your specific computer linked with your iTunes account, or else it doesn't work. Well, instead of plugging it into their computer, why don't you just plug in your iPad into your friend's TV and watch some videos? Oh, well, you can't, because you need a special adapter that goes from the dock port on your iPad into an HDMI port, or else you can't even use it. Which brings me to my main point about the iPad 3. It just does not replace a laptop or a desktop. I get Apple fanboys telling me,
"Oh, sure, it's $600, but I don't need my laptop anymore. Laptops are passé."
Wrong. The iPad 3 can't do half the things you can do with a laptop or desktop. For one, you got no Flash, as I mentioned before, so you can't access half the internet. Second of all, you got no real file management system, and everything has to go through my favorite program, iTunes. Third of all, ironically, for a device that's being pushed towards students, you have no real Office software. You have Pages, but if you've ever tried writing a lengthy document in Pages, you know that those pages belong in the trash. In conclusion, if you have way too much money and you're really desperate to throw some money out the window, write me a check, I could use the money, but if you don't want to do that, I guess you could get an iPad 3, but honestly, it really doesn't replace a laptop. If you really want to spend your time in a better way than walking over to the Apple Store, then follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, and come check us out at thetechover.com.